Hey, Kate and Larry and Taylor here again. Running a little late, was trying to get stuff done last week, but we got a little hectic around here. But now we got a nice sunny day, but the wind's going to pick up, and it's crazy all over the place. Thankfully, California got some rain and the fires were out, but now they got another issue. I know it's cold in a lot of places, but it's a weird time. But it's almost February. February is normally a short month, right? And normally that's usually our coldest month in Minnesota. And then March is beautiful. So who knows? And you don't know what's happening with all the global warming and all the turmoil that's happening out there. So let's get on to some work, right? First, there was a great email from Amy Spahala, Tuesday, yeah, this week. And it was telling us about the change. Stan, Clarenbeek, who has been with us 8 years. Remember when Stan joined American, take over the financial vertical from John Martin. John Martin found Stan, and they were doing a show, and John called me and says, "Hey, Larry, you got to talk to this guy," and it was Stan. And so we talked to Stan and found a way, and he took over the financial vertical and has done an awesome job over the 8 years. Plus, he's got one sweet account too that he's maintained. But then he also took over the GPO leadership as far as in the vertical group when Wayne moved on and some of the other people. And then he helps out with the educational vertical. But now, for his health and trying to slow down and change things a little bit. After 8 years, we thank you, Stan, for everything you've done and for getting us here. You're super professional, coming from the vendor side and the financial world, and helping us with our vertical markets and really fitting in to the American family. We're going to keep you close, being a salesperson, and hopefully everybody can reach out to Stan and thank him and wish him well. Also, Christine stepping forward. Now, Christine has been leading the automotive group for 9 years almost, and she took it over and really kind of and learned on the fly. She, learned a lot about the industry and that vertical from the ground up, and she's done an awesome job. And I know the automotive salespeople or the group in that vertical love her follow through and her leadership and her knowledge that she's accumulated over the years. And so now working with Amy and her department in that group, Christine will step up and overtake not only her automotive part, but also take over the responsibilities that Stan had. So welcome, Christine, and keep up the good work. Thank you, Stan, and we're always thinking about you. If there's anything we can do, let us know. We're always going to be here. The American family will always be here for you. Vendor Relations had an email last Friday, and it was with the St. Regis Group. Now they rebranded SRG, but they have a sustainability program that years and years ago, when I met with Merrick in the SR or the St. Regis Group in at Nashville at a conference. We heard about their sustainability uh, leader and department, and so there's an email that'll be attached here that talked about the launch and what you can have. So if you care about sustainability, or your customer does, because they do, many of them, and so you should attend that seminar and catch on and know what's going on. Next, we had Taylor. Reminds me that the 7 weeks now, 7 weeks. The conference is coming up in 7 weeks. It's sold out. You're going to be getting more updates and more information as we get closer. But if you want to look at the agenda, the theme, the property, whatever, and if you're coming or if you're just interested, go to asbshows.com. There's a lot of information out there, and the conference, the national conference, will be there. Also, Mariah and Serena both are interested in hearing from you related to expanded services. they have an offering for a lot of people have a hard time asking to collect money or get money from their customers, and they don't like the collection part. But it's most important part because if you don't get paid, it's not a sale till the money's in the bank, and so but sometimes it's difficult, maybe just time wise. But anyhow, they have a program through Expanded Services for soft collections. So if you're interested, get a hold of Mariah or Serena. And sidebar, if you know of any good support person out there, we want to hear about who they are and have Mariah and her team talk to them. We're always looking for good people. Never stop. We always need good people, and we need good people in Expanded Services because there's always a pipeline of people coming in or new needs with existing people. So anyhow, let us know if you got any leads or any ideas. Nothing hurt, nothing tried, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So marketing also had an email on 121, and it was a new marketing video, a mocha mousse. So it's I think it's about different colors, and it's information on colors. So the other thing I want to talk about is the ESP integration with apps. We did this a number of years ago, and it was a big agenda because people say, well, I don't want to do all my work on ESP and put together pricing and proposals, which is the front end stuff, which is really helpful for the customer and, doing business with the customer. But then I got to turn around and I got to input it into apps to create an apps purchase order for the vendor. So we said, oh, we'll integrate, and we did. The team worked really hard and integrated the apps and ESP so you can write that order. And when you're all done with using the ESP platform with your customer, you just send it to apps. Apps pulls it in, and apps creates a PO and sends it, and you don't have to touch it. And so I thought that was a wonderful thing, right? And so we're in Canada over the last 2 years with Canadian Solutions for Business, and up there, Sage is a big deal. Down here in the lower 48, ESP is a big deal. But in Canada, that Sage is kind of the system of choice in the promo world. And all the people we met in the first 2 years were all promo people. And so they're all using Sage. And they use it for everything. And then they use QuickBooks or something for their accounting. But they use everything on there. But then they lack all the reporting and all the back end stuff, which apps has. And that's the back end stuff. So we're talking about, well, gee, if we can get Sage, to integrate with apps, you'll be able to do what you're doing and just send it into apps, and we'll create the order. And now you have all your business unit, you have all your reports real time, you have access to all the things much more robust than QuickBooks. So that has been the model, and Mariah is working with her team now that the software is done for Canadian Solutions for Business and some other applications that we need in apps. Now they're looking at how do we integrate Sage into ESP or into apps so that they can utilize that in Canada. And so when we're talking about this, and we're talking to the people in Canada, oh, that's really cool, that's great. I'm being told by Dana and other people that down here is that, well, people don't use the ESP integration. I said, why? What's the problem? Well, they gotta, if you got a print order, or you got an inventory order, or you got some other order in there besides a promo order, you gotta input it into apps anyway. And so you might as well just input the promo stuff. Well, there is a way. And I asked Mariah this, well, okay, what if I do all my promo stuff, and I do the customer presentation, I do all my searches, I do all the proposals on the system, which is a really cool part of the ESP and Sage processor programs or offering. And I do all that, and I go to the customer, and I get the order. Now, what do? I load it into apps, or I download it into apps. Now, I can go into apps and catch that order and edit that order, and I can add custom print. in that vendor. I can add inventory releases in that location. I can add other supplies and other orders in that vendor. I can do that maintenance and that. So I've only input the promo order once into ESP, and ESP is integrated into apps. Now it's there. Now I've only put in the print and the supplies and the releases once because I edited the order that's in there from ESP. Then I can send it, and all the different vendors get their purchase order for their product, just like if you went in and created one from the beginning and keyed it all into apps and sent it to the different plants. So if you don't want to separate purchase orders by product category, and you want to have it in one because the customer wants one invoice and wants all that stuff on one invoice, you can do it. There is a way to do it, and it doesn't create any extra steps. So use the system. Use the system. Figure out how you can change your process so that you can still save steps, but use the system. So that's my 2 cents, because they spent a lot of time and effort making this happen, and I think it has value. And I don't know if we're not trading it right. If I'm missing something, and I don't know, you can tell me. I asked Mariah, and she said I'm not missing anything. So I don't get it. To me, if I was writing the orders, I would use it. So, well, that's enough preaching for this week. But also, I gave Kate some. If you're parents, you got some parent jokes if you got kids. So we're going to attach on some, I call it dad's jokes, but really it's parents' jokes. They come off of our little calendar that we have in the bathroom. It's a really cute ones. And so if you got younger kids, they'll really enjoy it. So last but not least, you can't have a better tomorrow if you're thinking about yesterday all the time. So peace and love. Have a great day. Have a great week. And thank you for being with American.